So hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with Patrick Mallon. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, Dar. Thanks for having me on. Thanks to the Sports Show podcast for having me on. I'm really delighted, looking forward to it.
Brilliant. So today we're just going to talk about a lot of various things. The main thing being PM coaching, your own business. We'll talk about a wee bit before. We'll talk about UFC just before we get into that, NBA a wee bit as well. And then to finish it off, we'll add a wee bit about football and the World Cup predictions. So
Yep.
We'll just get straight in the UFC. Who would you say is your favourite fighter right now?
My favourite fighter is Cody Garbrandt right now at this current minute. I think he's a good fighter. I've always liked him through started watching UFC. I think he's got a good about him. He's a good person, good quality fighter. He's got a few odd defeats, but in UFC, boxing, soccer, it can go any way in that type of day. And fair play to TJ Dillashaw, he did beat him on the day, but any other given night, Cody Garbrandt would have got him, in my opinion. Some people don't like him, that's their opinion, but that's just like anything. Football, basketball, you have your opinion, but at this current minute, he's always been my favourite. But I like John Jones. He's another top quality fighter, but I'm not really a huge fan of McGregor, never have been that much. I liked him at the start, and then I fell out with love him when he started his controversy with the fans, the grandas and stuff like that. I just didn't find that interesting, to be honest, and then I just didn't like him since. But Cody Garbrandt, John Jones, my top two who I like for. But Adesanya's another great one. Could say him, he's a quality fighter I like watching.
Yeah, and who would you say right now would be the most exciting fighter in the UFC?
The exciting fighter, I would go back to Adesanya. He's just, I didn't really hear him as much, and suddenly he would crawl in the last 2 years. He's an exciting fighter, and he showed me.
Yeah, and I actually don't know about yourself, but there's a few professional MMA fight. There's an MMA fight next week at Cage Warriors in Belfast. A few fighters, Reese McKee, former UFC fighter, fighting for the title.
Yeah, he's a good fighter in his own way, you know what I mean? He works hard, and you can see it throughout social media. He does put a lot of work in, and that's like any given thing in life. You put the work in, you will get there, you know what I mean? I wish him all the best, and he is a quality fighter, and you can see it. But it's good to see that the Cage Warriors is getting bigger, you know what I mean? It's this Cage Warrior, I didn't really hear of it that much long ago, and then suddenly the last 2 years it's bumped up a lot of it, and it's good to see, but it's nothing like what Dana White done, but it's something extra. You can see it in the sporting world, and it is getting better each week, each month, and the next coming years, you never know.
Yeah, and we'll just move into basketball now in the NBA. I know you're a Warriors fan. Last night they won the NBA championships. How do you feel?
I'm actually, you know what I mean, the whole year it was like the World War III was going to kick off, you know what I mean? It was just very, very, you know what I mean? Because basketball's a bit different. When you pick your team, you hate every other team. It's very, 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 because state after state. And Boston in the final, the whole year they thought they were a better team. They were slagging us the whole year, and we just proved them wrong. We beat them, and before in February time, the whole NBA were giving us 20% chance to win the trophy and giving Boston the higher chance. You know what I mean? Where I thought it was baffling, where we had the experience, where they didn't win a championship since I can't remember, not too long ago, but we've won 3 just before that one there, so it's 4 the last 7-8 years, and that's pretty good. But we had that aim to win it this year, because the last 2 years we didn't get a final. The Milwaukee Bucks won last year.
Yep, and the Warriors, they won the conference finals and obviously the main finals. How do you feel about Steph Curry? Obviously unbelievable, won the finals MVP. What a player.
He's my favourite basketball player, and he's the favourite all-around basketball player since I started watching it back in 2014. I love him, you know what I mean? He's such a good person, and he is the person who any kid you look up to if they like any other sport, because down the earth, you know what I mean? I don't know why people dislike him. It's probably jealousy, but he is a good person. He's what people should aim to be, you know what I mean? There's nothing arrogant about him. When he wins, he focuses on the team. more than anything, last night we won the final and he won the MVP. Whereas the first question he says, "I don't want to talk about the MVP. I want to talk about we won the 4th trophy." You know what I mean? And that's what type of person he was on the team first. And you could see when we went 2-1 down, straight away he performed to a different level. You know what I mean? On Friday night there, he got 43 points. Monday night he had an off night, and you can see it was unbelievable the way he came the last 5-6 years. He's changed basketball, and there's no debate he is the greatest shooter ever in the NBA, and most pundits will tell you that. LeBron James comes into it because people's arguing that back and forth. The trophies, they're both level now, and I could easily see, in my opinion, Steph win number 2. Easily can see him playing number 2. The fitness levels, and he's 34, but you can play until you're 38 plus. No, I mean, you can get number 2 the next 4 or 5 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then obviously, just before we get into your own business, PM coaching, we'll just talk about you starting your own coaching yourself with various different clubs. I know you helped out with my former team, Belfast Celtic. What clubs have you been about and what got you started?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, you know what I mean, because when I started, it was way back in 2016. I was just finished off nearly thinking of just wrapping up my playing because I didn't really enjoy my last 2 years playing at like the Swifts and the Willowbank. I thought a bit of that. I wasn't really enjoying it full level where I was way back in Plunkett. Plunkett was my best years. I was scoring 40, 50 goals. It was loving life. Top goal scored before the cup. And then straight up the 2014-15, I was loving it even more. I was still good Con Valley when I first started, way back when I was 10. I was younger than Plunkett. Them two were my main bits. Swifts, I had a decent time, but not what I like. And then Willowbank, it just wasn't for me. It just didn't tick off. And then my first club in the coaching was 2016 Con Valley. It was a great opportunity to get started in the coaching. It was behind the scenes. It was interesting to get straight in there, and fair play to Marty get me on. The assistant manager role, he was a cracking manager, and the way he was motivated to win. And that year it was tough to get into. It was just consistent. We needed to perform, improve the kids, but he was just a in his own. He was a winner way back in his own time, and I was a winner as a player. You know, when I played, geez, I talked to the feet and didn't sleep. You know what I mean? Everyone's going, "Why are you doing this? We got fucking beat. Why are you speaking to me? We got fucking beat." And it was just the same as coaching. You know what I mean? Up in Conway, when we got beat, sleepless nights, just rehearsing what went wrong, and then the next week focus on to do better, you know, and that's it. And then, but we won the league that year, and it was a tight one. You know, it was a debatable from other side. Bloomfield fought the whole way through. They beat us in the final that year, but we said we're not going to lose twice to them. They won the cup 1-0. Last game in the league, we needed to win over them. And one of the games, we had to go over their pitch. It was the hardest thing ever. Going away, the Bloomfield, the trying to win the league. If we got beat, the league was over, but we went and won it. And that was the pinnacle of the iceberg, you know what I mean? So, because you need to go there hard, and they brought some support. And when they got beat, geez, it hurt them in the stomach. You know what I mean? It's a bit like Real Madrid won the league at the mini camp, where Barcelona won the league at the Bernabeu. There would be fireworks going off, and when we won, it was a bit sweeter on the drive home. It was a bit sweeter because you know you won the league in someone's backyard after beating you in the final not too long before. And when I left them after that, because the opportunity, as you were talking yourself with the Belfast Celtic, that came up in a higher league. Hanwell only starting third division, the Belfast first near Premier. It was a good opportunity, and for Mark McCrudden, he's a cracking coach. It's good to see the detail of what he shows. And I brought my aim to try and progress on, and it was a good opportunity to move on to the Emmons. And some cracking players, you know what I mean, like Oisin Devlin, he one of the best players at the minute, and it was a player to coach him. Shea Smith, holy Christ, he picked the ball for a centre half, and like yourself, you were a very good player. Like, you know what I mean, the whole team were together. seen off the pitch, on the pitch, we were together, and it was unlucky in terms of trophies. We should have had a final. Politics got into it, and it was harsh. Now politics come into football. The final should have got played, but I think my head was sometimes towards failure that year. I was more in party mode than coming to that type of year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's tones. So I think my head was screwed on for that more than the final. But I think if we got that final, my head would have been up the tactics. Or some nights I don't get to sleep till 2-3 in the morning before a game because I'm up scouting tactics, scouting what we can do. You know what I mean? The interesting bit. But that type of year was coaching my cousin Jackie Hayward up in Satley Boys with our 14s and 15s. And then, but it was gradually just coaching the 14s. And then we created the 07s again because they folded. The other coach left and the whole players left, but we got them all back together. And that year it was slowly increasing, but we had an aim, beat the team again, give the kids an opportunity, brought good feeling back. And the first year was pretty good that year. We got a final. It was baffling because the first 2 nights we showed up, we had a game like the day after, and we were going, "What's going on? I know how we have to plan this out." We're going, "What is going on here?" You know what I mean? So that sort of thing, it was mental. But to get a final that year, it was unbelievable. We weren't planning. We were only planning to just progress them on, trying to improve them as kids, and then it was hard lucky to get beaten in the final. You know what I mean? It was a hard fought final. 3-2, I think it was. We got beat, but it was a last game. We were preparing for extra time penalties, and then they struck the ball out of the box with near a minute to go, and then the ref blew the whistle when they scored. It was hard, and then but that led on this pre-season. This season, what I'm going to get more into because it's more up to date, and this year it was more tactical. You know what I mean? It was more to get them in the mindset that we need to get something in this year because September to the July, you know what I mean? It's the full year. Last year it was like the half season. We created them late on around November time, so we didn't really have much pre-season. So it was this year it was the full swing, and we were motivated at the end of it. We were going to get a trophy, and you seen that the final this year we were more favourites. Last year we weren't. You know what I mean? This year we were more favourites, and it showed. We won the final easily against the Ridgeway Rovers. You know what I mean? The Ridgeway Rovers, in my opinion, the whole 70 minutes, if you watched it on YouTube, it was live stream. The first 15 minutes, we didn't really gradually get. We were more in control, and then we got the goal before not too long half time. And second half, we just we ended up winning 3-1. But that year, the striker, I've never seen a player that age being so optimistic, both-footed, dribbling. He was a quality coach, you know what I mean? And I will miss him when we move on in September, when I get on the try and over in Wolverhampton to get my sports science degree. I will miss Sutton Boy because he has huge potential, and I wish they had a bit more few years to coach him. Team the centre half and Darren Mann both have a bright future ahead of them because Darren at centre half last year we didn't really find out the station. This year we found out that he's a centre half and he's got pace, strength, he loves to tackle, and he is a quality kid indeed. And both the best, but the striker German scored 45 out of 60 goals. Well, that record is second on. Hat trick in the semi, 2 in the final. You're just going, well, coaching job's done, you know what I mean? If players are like that, perform, you know yourself. You're a Cliftonville supporter. When Joe the goal scores them goals, you're as a supporter. That's Joe the goal for you, know what I mean?
100%.
Jared Mallon is Jared Mallon, you know what I mean? Even last year, you know what I mean, the first half a year, you know what I mean, he was still scoring them goals, you know what I mean, but it was just the quality you seen inside him, you know what I mean. And it's good when you see the whole year, all the sessions you put in, you know, my cousin, you can see it paying off when you left the trophy at the end of it. And you seen this year they were going to get something. I felt it way back Christmas time, they were building up, but this year we're losing the league by a point. It was harsh losing the league by a point, but we won the League Cup. But
yep.
The league, it was debatable with 2 of the games we lost. It was our own fault, and showing up late, not much motivated for the game. In terms of you're not really in the right mindset, and they weren't really not motivated. We were like 70%. Whereas when the Royals showed up early against the lower teams, we were 100% in the mindset to win the game. We won them. You know what I mean? If we were 100% carried off from Rosario, we would have won the league. You know what I mean? That's simple. Same with Celtic. When we were 100%, we were winning the game. When we were off it, when the likes of OD or Shea Smith had an off game, you know what I mean? We weren't winning. You know what I mean? When they were on it, no team. You know what I mean? There was, and shout out to Callum. You know what I mean? Another player, Callum. He's a cracking player. You know what I mean? I heard this year he got the winner in your final.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Winner in your final, but I've seen that coming. You know what I mean? He was a pleasure to coach, but he had a bit off the field issues, but that happened, and then he came back and he left and he came back. But when he's there with full mindset, he has the full potential to go on. Same with Jordan Mallon, same with Dar Mahan. Both all have potential. And the likes, I was at coaching camps over in Rosario for 4 or 5 weeks. I was at Swansea Sports doing coaching. So I've got plenty of coaching experience at the minute around me, but it's nowhere near where I want to be. And that's pretty good. That's just a brief where I got my coaching inspiration from, and it was from the mighty Jose Mourinho. You know, loving the vid. So when he's the man, he is the man, and that's what got me into coaching because I respect him a lot. And he never really kicked the ball before he started young, and I'm going to start young and follow his path. But I'm not here sitting saying, I'm going to manage Real Madrid or Paris, not your man. You know what I mean? I'm here I'm going to make it, coach a team. You know what I mean? It could be Lincoln City, could be Exeter, be a team over in America, or you never know, in 15 years it could be back here, Pittenville Crusaders, etc. You know what I mean? You just never know, but I can see myself, I believe it, and as I say, if you see success instead of thinking about failure, you will get there, and that is the thing I always think about success. Everybody can make mistakes, you know what I mean? It's how you move on from the mistakes. I've made plenty in the coaching. I'm not a brilliant coach. People can have their opinion. People think I'm good. People think I'm shit. But it's just the way it is. I don't really care what people say about me. You know what I mean? I just think the way I think. I always see positivity in the negative, and vice versa.
Yeah, and just a wee bit before there, you were talking about different tactics and stuff. And I think I seen last week, was it, you were at Northern Ireland, their youth development squad. Were you doing a bit of notes or doing a bit of studying there?
I mean, yeah, I was over there because I just want to build my knowledge and build my experience. One of my favourite Swansea players, the Swansea City support, he was over doing a whole coaching course with the NI team, Super Cup team. So it was a good 6-7 hours experience. And also to learn from Premier League coach Gary Monk and a Premier League centre half. And he's got plenty of experience around him. You know what I mean? He was at 20 for 10 years. He built it all up. And he coached us as well. He coached Leeds and he coached Sheffield Wednesday. So his experience was very good to learn off. And I made some notes, but I can't really discuss that. That's just private to myself because my coaching stays private. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't think Jose Mourinho, when he goes on things he did, or Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp, they sometimes discuss a bit, but they don't give their full info. But I can tell you, I did learn something, and I think it will help me in the coming years, and I believe I will get there.
Yeah, and we see all different kinds of stuff on your PM coaching, your social media platforms. You're on social media. Where you're on Instagram? Where else are you?
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm on WhatsApp. But all these are different platforms. You can see different things. Twitter's more the posts, more tweets, whereas the Instagram's a bit everything, the videos, my opinion, and the posts as well with the videos, posts without the video, just a bit of mixture, whereas Facebook adds it all in. And then the new thing, what I like about PM coaching is the up-to-date new website. I hope everyone goes out and checks it out because it's only the start, and next coming weeks and months that will get bigger and bigger, and especially with me linked to go to Wolverhampton, that will follow me over there. And all these platforms, you should go and follow all because they're all different in their own ways. You know what I mean? You don't need to like one, but if you follow one of them, you will see one's different than the other. And the Twitter and the website's new. Facebook's been up since the PM coaching started way back in 2019, and same with Instagram. Facebook and Instagram's been the start, and Twitter and the website's been the new adventure of the PM coaching. But the PM coaching, the LinkedIn, to start straight away in it. It's mostly just to give kids active over the summer, give them active when their clubs start or when their football start for coming weeks. But it's more the, put it simple, improve them physically and tactically at football, and the most of all, make them have fun over the summer, you know what I mean? And £10 for a session or £20, they give them a 2-hour session, it's worth it. And I can see, thanks to everyone who's took part over the last 2 years. Appreciate whoever booked the session. They won't be forgot, and I appreciate all that. And they have said they've enjoyed it. They've also said that they've improved over the coming weeks. But you can see that it's not just 1 week session. I like having some for 5 weeks and then build upon that. Whereas we'll go with tactics. I'm someone in my mind's been like the high pace and high intensity, but certain clubs you can only play at certain way, and you need the players as well.
Yep. And just as we're talking there about PM coaching your own business, what is it about, and what, well, we've already talked about what it's about, but what made you sort of get started? Is it because you wanted to help children have fun and become better players during the summer?
Yeah, that's it. You put it there in one. It's to help kids and help them improve their skills and fitness. And most of all, it's just to give them a good opportunity to improve. Because as you see, over the summer, it's where most kids stop playing football, start eating a lot more junk food. And they're not in the best shape when they return back pre-season. And they get them ready. When they're back pre-season, they're ahead of the 8 ball instead of behind the 8 ball. You don't want to be behind. I mean, if you're behind the 8 ball, you're behind the pack in order. You won't be really started in pre-season, and when the league starts, you're on the bench. Whereas you could be easy starting.
Yeah. And we'll just right into talking about your PM coaching, your merchandise that you're wearing now. Some cracking gear. What is, are we able to, what is it on your social media about details how to bat and all that stuff?
Yeah, one side of the bat and the link, but the main thing, it's not just the clothing. We've got sponsorship, you know. We're linked with the Burke Sports, and they're one of the top brands, and I want to shout out to them for sponsoring me with the gear. I'm making the gear. It's fully them making it, and it's some quality gear, and the price of them, it's very good. The price on the website, on Facebook, and it's worth it. You know what I mean? The gear is quality, and when I first seen it, it was worth it. And the Burke Sport, they are good. It's not like they're not known. They've worked down Tipperary, you know. That's where their main warehouse is, and then they only created that shop in Belfast, just across from the Asda there on the Kennedy Way.
Yep.
They're beside our pizza, so it's not hard to find. I want people to know they can check it out. All you need to do is post me a message to get your gear ordered, or you can try one on. I have try-ons in the house, so it's not just email me a message, ring me, and I'll get you sorted. But it is quality gear to be sponsored by someone who knows their stuff, has a lot of experience in that type of department. Not like some person who creates gear and they don't know what they're doing. That man down there has done a strong job, same with Dartley, and he is worth it. And most people know Burke Sports if they're in their Gaelic and their football. They know their stuff, and it is quality outfit gear. And it's good to get that platform. The build, the gear was the next step, and then the progress PM coaching on is to add more coaches, and that's what I'm in progress of doing over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I know myself as well. I've been provided with my own the Sports Show podcast gear from the Violent Gentleman, so a big shout out to you as well. It's a great feeling just to have your own sort of gear, and I think it adds a bit more professionalism as well to you.
It does indeed. You're showing up to your session, you want to have your own clothing, you know what I mean? You want to be that professional. And it's available in jerseys, half zips, and the jacket. And there will be more stuff out to it in the future, but it's a variety of stuff you can buy, and it's worth it, you know what I mean? You know yourself, it makes it more professional. When I started off coaching, not your own gear, you didn't feel the same, but over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been myself. I can feel the PM coaching's getting further, better each week, each month, and I think something big's going to happen.
Yep, that's what it's all about me as well. What would you say is your motto for PM coaching?
My motto is, it's the new thing that came about. It's the learn, develop, and progress motto. This is full PM coaching motto on the website is straight on the front. And that's what I want to make PM coaching is. You learn and then you develop it, and then it's how you get to that next level is to progress. It could progress to a different club, better opportunity, and that is the main aim, or the progress your ability. If you started off only one-footed, you progress at the end of the 6 weeks or the few months, you're both-footed. Knowing the progression is the end bit. It could be your finishing's improved by an extra 20%, or you move club better, or you're both-footed at the end of it, or you've learned a lot at the end of it. So it's more, they're all quite similar. So you learn at the start the new skill or learn something new, you develop it, and then the progression's the next bit. And that's my motto. It's learn, develop, progress. And I want to send that out to everyone to know it's not just a one-session thing. If you book in one side, there'll be a great first session, but it's more this coming weeks because you see that coming through. And at the minute, I'm coaching the kids. I've had them 2 sessions, and I'm building, and I'm looking forward to working on him because I can see something big with him. And he's only 11 years of age, and there's something good about him. And that's what it's all about. The first session he was a bit shy, but the second session he was more confident, and he's improved over the 2 sessions. And then the third session, I'm already can't wait to the third session.
Yeah, and just as you said before, you're going over to university to do a sports degree in Wolverhampton. What would you say at your full aim to continue on with PM coaching, or what would you say your full aim is?
Yeah, wherever I go, PM coaching is going to follow, and that's why when you're in PM coaching, you'll never be forgot. And have you been on the website yourself?
Not as of yet. I actually never knew there was a website, so I'll leave a wee link in the description for everyone to go check it out.
Yep. If you see there's a wee part of the website, the photo gallery, you see the amount of photos already there is. It's unbelievable, second to none. You know what I mean? And all them photos will be continued over the Wolverhampton. I can't wait to show PM coaching over there. And then at the end of England, I could get the opportunity to go to America, and PM coach will be followed over there. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be wherever I go, PM coaching is going to be there. And that it's never going to stop. You know what I mean? You see coaches now have their own business. Like Gary Monk is with Soccer Buffet. He created that up. Gary Monk was Soccer Buffet, which was speaking earlier, where he came to Belfast there, the learning course I was at. And you see a lot of players as well creating their own coaching business. So it's that if I'm coaching a top team in the future, the business will still be there. It's just this is only the beginning. And it's the next step. I just hope my next aim is to get more coaches added to the business. When I'm over Wolverhampton, get out of it, and that's my next step, and that's fully it. It's just going, follow me where I go. And the Wolverhampton degree, that's the big one. When I go straight over there, my main aim is to complete the degree, do my 100% best for that degree, and I will be trying to get my own wee team over to coach. I don't mind any age group because I've got experience in all wee departments, but I just want to start off coaching the team over there and build it on. I feel I'm ready. I deferred it last year, but I feel I'm ready this year. And something big going over there. And that's why you need to have your education behind you. It leads you a long way. You can't, and the kids who probably might watch this podcast, you need to have something behind you. You got 2 A's and the B and males. I didn't get that this opportunity with come because some unis you need to have the 2 distinctions and America to get into it. And if you don't have a opinion, most sport coaches, you won't really get the quality of uni as you can. And I can't wait for it. And I'm already itching to get over and get started in the coaching because I miss it already. You know what I mean? When Celtic boy season ends, I do miss that sideline buzz. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
So we'll just move on to next. I'm actually down coaching. Well, I'm doing a wee bit of helping out with my younger brother's team, Charlie. He plays for Glendowen, their 2009 team, a great squad. And they're doing very well at the minute. They're going to the Florida Cup here. What advice would you give to someone looking to give, just like myself and anyone else watching, who would like to get introduced into coaching?
The advice is you need to be fully in it. A lot of hard work. It's a lot of work to be done in it. You know what I mean? Because you need to be planning sessions. You need to be analysing a lot. I'm non-stop watching football. You know what I mean? The last 2 years, I'm consistently learning. Consistently making notes. You need to make a lot of notes because that's what makes you into the coach you are. And you need to have your own mindset. Don't listen to anyone else. You know what I mean? If someone doesn't like your view, but just stick to your own beliefs. You know what I mean? That's what I've never went past. You know what I mean? When I'm coaching on the sideline, I'm a bit too into it. But I'll fucking calm down a bit. But I need to get shit on here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's when I'm in it. Same when I was. I don't like losing. You know what I mean? I'm a sore loser, and when I lose, it's like World War III in my house. And tactic boards ripped up, tactic boots ripped up, and when I won that trophy, it was a good taste, and the beer was well worth it at the end of it. It's just to stick to your beliefs, and the be in it, be 50% in the coaching. You need to be your head screwed on, and it's just to learn with who you like. You know what I mean? You need to have contact. I've got a lot at the minute, and that Gary Monk's brother was over and he added me on Facebook, and it was a pleasure in learning from him. So that's another contact on my list. The top coach of soccer profile is in my contacts, and that's what you need. And when I'm over Wolverhampton, I'll try and get in contact with more and have them. I've made a lot of contacts here. You know what I mean? You need to have people behind you as well. It's just a stick with your. You need to be fully in it. You can't be half.
Yeah, and just lastly, we'll just get on about the professional football. Who's your favourite football team? Just out of curiosity.
The football club. Swansea City.
Swansea. It broke up there. Why Swansea? What got you introduced? Is it family or what?
No, my family's all different. You know what I mean? There's United supporter, Milan supporter, Juventus, Chelsea. They're all different. What got me in the sport in Swansea was the Brendan Rodgers. He mostly got me into it around 2010. I've supported him since. My first club used to be Sporting AC Milan way back in the younger days, but I found my team in Swansea since 2010, 2011. And that's just the way they play is similar. What got me in the coaching as well, their style, the position-based sort of football. The first couple of years under great management, Michael Laudrup was a very good coach, and he played the Swansea way, the precise base. That's what Swansea fans want, playing good football. Since the American owners took over around 2016, they fell apart from that, and Gary Monk alluded to it. And that's one of the reasons he got sacked. He fell out with the board of members because the first year he did well, and then the Americans took over and they weren't on the same path. You know what I mean? Yep. Coaching's, and it's tough if you need to be in the right mindset. If you're not getting the results, it's harsh. You know what I mean? And that's the way it goes. But it's just, I found my team around Brendan Rodgers, and I like the way they play. I like their, when I seen their stare, I like that 20 passes ago. That's their stare. And I just supported them since. And now it's 2022, so I've just been stuck with them. I mean, we got relegated, but I stuck by them. You know what I mean? We're still in the championship, but I fully believe this new coach is trying to get us back to the possession-based Russell Martin. And you can see it. Last year we finished mid-table, but too many draws. But I can feel next season he will get much better at the team. You can see a bit more Swansea way next year, and hopefully we'll get promoted and see a bit more happier Patrick Mallon.
So the very last question: the World Cup 2022 is being held in Qatar in the end of November, start of December time. I'm actually going over to it myself. Can't wait, to be fair. Who do you fancy to win it?
Argentina. No, I mean, it's no beating the bushes about it. No, I mean, I'm a big Argentina fan. I love Lionel Messi. They're my international team. You know what I mean? It's just the way they play. Lautaro Martinez, he's so underrated, and I don't know why people don't talk about him as much. Him the other night, for any young strikers who go and watch it, his first touch, his movement was unbelievable. And at Inter Milan over the last 2 years, he's been quality. And as a striker, he's very good to watch, and that's what I mostly tell young strikers go and see is the tournament strikers like him. Quick off the ball, but gets in behind, first touch, and that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? And what more do you want from the striker, you know what I mean? He's got everything you want, but he's just, some people don't look at him like Lewandowski, the Harry Kanes in that category, but why not? He's that, you know what I mean? He gets goals, gets assists. He's won leagues and he's won the Cup of America there of Argentina. And I think they're heavy favourites for this World Cup because they beat the champions easily dominated them there the other night. And they won the Cup of America against Brazil. They were unbeaten in about 30 odd games. And I think 3 years ago, Argentina weren't that great as they should be. But now, the last year and a half, they've turned into a machine. And I can see them pulling off a good win for Lionel Messi to win his first World Cup. I can see it happening. And I've seen them win that Cup of America. Some people didn't believe me, and I've seen it happening, and Italian fans were sick.
Brilliant. So I think that's everything covered, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks very much, sir. Thanks very much to the Sports Show podcast. I'm really happy that you got me on, and I'm looking forward to probably getting on again in the future, and hopefully a bit better coaching department that could be.
Brilliant, mate. Right, okay. Thank you very much, mate. See you later. Cheers, mate. See ya.